Okay, let's dive in. You might have caught wind of this situation involving Senator Adams Oshiomole and Airpiece at the airport.
Yeah, there was definitely some noise about it, claims of extortion, disruption, the usual stuff when these things blow up.
Right. And look, there are always multiple sides. What we want to do today is focus specifically on one source, an article called Airpiece Rejects Oshiomole's Extortion Claims.
Exactly. So we're just unpacking Airpiece's official response, as reported in this one article, is their side of the story we're looking at here.
Got it. So mission for this deep dive,
Hmm.
lay out what Airpiece said according to this source. What's their main takeaway message?
Well, right off the bat, the source says their core point is denial, flat out. They called the extortion claims a deliberate falsehood. Strong words.
Okay, deliberate falsehood. So this article covers their statement, hitting a few key points, right? Denying extortion, explaining the flight details from their perspective, and then describing what they say the senator did.
Precisely. And what's quite striking in the article is how firmly Airpiece pushes back. The source quotes them, challenging the senator directly.
Aso.
They apparently said, produce one piece of evidence, just one passenger who was actually extorted. Then they followed up, really definitively, according to the report. None of our staff ever extorted any passengers.
Very clear stance there.
Yeah.
What about the flight itself? Did the article mention specifics on that, like selling tickets late or overbooking?
Yeah, they addressed that head on, too. The article reports Airpiece saying no ticket was sold after the closure of check-in on that flight, period.
Okay.
And they also specifically denied it was overbooked. They stated, again, according to the source, our flight was never overbooked. The aircraft took off with over 30 empty seats.
30 empty seats. Okay, so if it wasn't extortion and wasn't overbooked, their narrative in the source must explain why people might have missed it, including the senator.
Right, and that's where their story pivots. Airpiece's statement, as reported in this article, claims Senator Oshiomhole simply came to the airport late. Yeah, and that he was told that he was late. They also apparently denied offering him any special treatment or that his later actions were about helping other passengers. It was about him being late, according to this report.
Okay, and this is where the article details their counterclaims about his behavior.
Exactly. It gets pretty specific. Airpiece alleges, in the statement covered by the source, that after being told he was late, the senator began to foment trouble.
Foment trouble. What does that mean, according to them?
Well, the source quotes their statement claiming he then jumped on the baggage conveyor belt, actually stopping check-in for other flights.
On the belt? Wow, okay.
And apparently also barricaded the entrance gate, blocking access to the terminal.
So physically preventing people from getting through, based on their account in this article.
That's what the source says they alleged. And they also claimed, during all this alleged disruption, that he deliberately instigated other passengers against the airline.
Instigated others. Okay, so that's a fairly dramatic picture they're painting in their statement, as reported here.
It is. Specific actions, specific claims. And it leads to something significant they called for in the article.
Which is?
Airpiece appealed to FAAN, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. They asked them publicly, it seems, via this statement, to release the closed-circuit television CCTV coverage.
The cameras.
Yes, starting from when the senator entered the airport. They want, and I quote from the source here, Nigerians to see what happened.
So they're basically saying, the tapes will back us up.
That seems to be the implication in the article, yes. They also apparently described his accusation of extortion as very defamatory and his alleged conduct as very violent, unbecoming, unfortunate, and above all, shameful.
Strong language again. Okay, so let's quickly recap Airpiece's position purely based on the source article we've been discussing.
Right. Key takeaways from their statement reported here. No extortion, no tickets sold after check-in closed. Flight wasn't overbooked, actually had over 30 empty seats.
And their explanation is that Senator Oshiomhole was late, and that was the core issue.
Correct. And then their counterclaims, again, as reported, he fomented trouble, jumped on the baggage belt, blocked the gate, and tried to stir up other passengers.
And underpinning all this is their call for FAAN to release the airport CCTV footage.
That's the picture painted by Airpiece in the statement covered by this particular source, yes.
And just to be absolutely clear, for everyone listening, this deep dive focused only on the details presented to that one source article detailing Airpiece's response.
Absolutely crucial point. Now, thinking about this, When you have these public disagreements, these conflicting stories, and then one side, like Airpiece here, according to the source, specifically calls for hard evidence, like CCTV. What does that make you think about how information gets shaped, how narratives compete, especially when there's a call for something supposedly objective like video footage? What really stands out to you listening to this about the weight we give to verifiable evidence versus just claims and counterclaims in situations like these?